Hey guys, I'm Aditya Thakur and welcome back to Get Set Code by Newton School. In this video, we'll get started with mathematical functions in Python. So there are a number of built-in functions in Python that you can use to perform some mathematical operation. We'll see what are the functions available and then we'll check out the math module provided by Python, which has a wide array of functions. So we'll explore that today in this video and let's get started with it. I am Aditya Thakur. I am an instructor here at Newton School for Python. And if you have any questions or queries, you can reach out to me on LinkedIn through the link provided in description. Before we go into it, Newton School is a platform which prepares you for your career in tech. So they have courses designed for freshers and for working professionals and also for women with no tech background. So it will first train you for 6 months and help you become an amazing full stack developer. They have a network of more than 300 plus great companies who hire from Newton School. So after the training is done, they'll ensure that the students get placed in the best companies in the country. And the best part is that Newton School has a pay after placement program, so you don't have to pay anything until and unless you are placed with a minimum 5 lakh CTC. And about the Launchpad initiative, so it's an initiative taken by Newton School for people who want to start coding from scratch. What they'll do is basically teach you different programming languages absolutely free of cost. And this video would also be available on the Launchpad section of Newton School. So let's get started with it. What I'll do is quickly go over to newtonschool.co, and if you are new here, you can quickly sign up. Since I already have an account, I'll just log into my account. This should take me to my profile. It should take some time to load, and once I'm here, I'll go over to the playground and go down to algorithm playground and create a new account, new playground. So it will take me to the code editor here. Before getting started with it, I have to select my compiler. Since we have been working with Python, I'll select Python 3.8.1. And now let's get started with the different functions that are available to us. So the first that we are looking at is minimum and maximum. So let us say like there is a question, you want to find out the minimum or maximum out of a few numbers. So there are built-in functions provided in Python that you can use. Basically, what I can do is I can take a variable a, and now how do you define a function? You basically write the function name. So let us say there's this function called min, and then we pass in the different arguments, right? So if you have to find the minimum of numbers like 12, 18 or 22, something like this. So what you can do is basically pass these numbers as argument to the main function, which is built in Python, and you can save the output to a variable. In this case, we are using a, and I'll just print out the output to console. And if I run this program right now, it should print out the minimum. It should first find the minimum of all these values that are passed to it, so which is 12. Then this 12 will be stored in the variable a and it would be printed out to console. So there is also a maximum function. So instead of using min, you can simply use max and pass the different values. And if you run this program, it should print out the maximum value of these different numbers. There is one another function called absolute, ABS, right? So again, I'll just use a and type in absolute. What absolute does is basically it returns the positive value of a specified number. So let us say like there is a negative number, or there are numbers that you only want the positive part of. So there is a number like 5, 2, 4. What absolute would do is basically return the absolute value of this, as in it would get rid of the negative sign and return this. For positive numbers, it would remain the same, as in if I pass in 5.2.4, so it would print out 5.2.4 to the console, right? So there is also another function called power that you can use. How it can be done is basically write the name of the function and pass the values, as in 5,2, right? And print it out to console. So 5 5 is 25. So 5 raised to power 2, it would print out the value to the console. So this is another common function. So we have also seen in operators that this is how you can raise a number to a power, as in you can type in 5 and use double asterisk to find the power of that particular value. So this is just a revision of something we had done previously. This we had seen in the operator videos. Now moving on, Python also has a very extensive math module. There are a few functions that I will take up from this math module, but if you want to refer all the functions, I'll put this link in the description. Basically what it has is it has all these functions that you can use, which will let you perform some of the mathematical operations. Like there is r cosine, you can find that number up to the nearest integers. There's mat.cos, degrees and distinct floor and all this stuff. What I'll do is I'll basically cover a few that we really need to know and how to use this inside your Python program. What you need to do is basically import math. So it should import the math module in Python, and let us say like you want to get the pi value, so you can do it something like that, math.pi, and print x, right? So if I run this program, what should happen is basically x will save the value of mathematical pi, and it should print it out to console. If I get rid of this import statement, as in if I don't import the math module, what you will have is an error which would say like math is not defined. So you need to import the math module to work on these mathematical functions. And then there are other functions like square root, which returns the square root of a number, which is another like important function. So how can you use this square root function is basically by passing the value that you want square root of. So we can use again this x variable math.sqrt, and like let us say we want to find the square root of 64. So if I run this program, it should give me an output 8.0. So it would return a float value. And there is another, we have already seen power. So there are also these functions mat.ceil and mat.floor. What a ceiling does is it rounds it off to the highest integer, as in you can read the documentation to here. So what ceiling would do is basically round a number up to the nearest integer. So it will go up, as in if I'm using 64.9, or even if I was using like 64.2, what it would do is basically round it off to the next integer, which is like 65. And then there is also floor, which basically rounds the number down to the nearest integer. So I have written here 64.8, and it will bring it to the floor. It will round it off to the floor, so it would become 64 even if it's 64. So these are some functions that we normally require when writing programs in Python, and there are others like you can also check if the numbers are close to each other, number is finite or number is infinite. You can find log and so many functions that you can explore. So I'll leave the link of this particular article in the description. And that is it for this video. We saw how to use some of the basic functions, built-in functions available in Python. Then we looked at the math module and checked out the different functions in it itself, experimented with a few, saw how to use a few of them. And that is it for this video. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe the channel to stay updated whenever we post a new video, and you can watch the other videos in our complete Python playlist. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Aditya Thakur, and I'll see you in the next video.